Hey, what's going on everybody? It's B+. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video as we wrap up the CHHTalk Project of the Year bracket for 2022. And of course, this is part of my CHH 2K22 A Year in Review video series that I've been doing to end the year of 2022 and also to start the year of 2023. I'm going to stretch this out for maybe the next 2 or 3 weeks. So you guys want to make sure that you're subscribed to the page so that you can get the very latest on that. But before we get into the final four, I do want to do two things. I have a bunch of friends over on Twitter and they are dropping their CHH Project of the Year list. So I want to talk really quickly about some of those. And then the second thing that I want to do is I just want to kind of quickly go through the bracket and just kind of show you guys how we got to this being the final four. So with that being said, let's go ahead and switch gears and let's talk about some of these lists. All right, so let's go ahead and kick off these lists with my homie 7 from Adam. If you've been following the channel or if you've been following the CHH 2K22 thing, you know that I had him on the channel also with Bars and Beats Entertainment, and we discussed our best features from Aha Gazelle. So you might want to check that out. That was a very, very fun video. But really quickly about his top 10 list, I just want to shout out a few albums on here. The first one is by Legacy. That's Leap of Faith 2. That didn't even make this this bracket here, but it's a very, very dope album. Leap of Faith 1. I did an album review of that. I think that was from the year 2021. So go check that out. And then the next thing I want to highlight is Raging Moses and his album entitled The Flourishing. Very, very, very dope album. I listened to it. It's an EP, so it's a short listen, maybe 28 minutes or so, somewhere around there. But I listened to it like 3 times back to back to back. It's a very easy listen, and you can really hear his heart in there. So that's the first one that I want to highlight. And now let's go over to my next list I want to highlight. All right, so the next list I want to highlight is, let's see, this is from my homie Luke DeMarzio. He writes for Rapzilla. Shout out to all the guys over at Rapzilla. And he put together his top 20 list. And a few things that I want to highlight on here is, let's see, the first thing, William Cotta. That's his fourth favorite album of the year, album called Not Too Late. Very dope album. I think he's from New York, has like that New York type feel. Very, very dope album. So I want to shout that one out. And then also, let's see, DJ Lost and Found. It's a really dope project. It was part of this bracket, but I want to give that one another shout. And also DJ Lost and Found did a top 50 or maybe a top 100 songs of the year. So hop on the Twitter and then maybe type in his name on Spotify as well. You can find that. So that's my next one. Moving on to my homie Marcos. He's always in my comment section on YouTube and also on Twitter. So I want to give him a shout out. A few projects on here, and I'm super mad at myself because there's a project on here that I listened to when it came out, and then somehow I got busy and I just never went back to it. And it's a fantastic project. Had I been listening to it all year, it would probably be in my top 10. And it goes by the name of Diaspora, and it's by Cass. Very, very dope project. It has features by The Rose is on there. The closing track was with Clesso. The name of that song was 23. That was super dope. There was a song on there called Clouds that was really dope. I'm really mad at myself for not really giving that the spin that it deserves. And then the other thing I want to highlight on this list was the album by Riggs. I think it was just on Bandcamp, Vent Sessions 2. So if you're a fan of Bandcamp, if you're a fan of supporting artists directly, go over to Bandcamp. You can find that one there. So there's a couple there. Let's keep things moving. This next one, these next two are very special because they're both from the motherland. They're both from Africa. They have this hashtag on there where it says CHH Africa Reacts. And they're kind of like my peek into the world of CHH that's going on in Africa. Right here, King Davy, he's done a number of these. This is just one of his tweets. So you want to make sure you go follow him. That's at King Davy 19. He's done a number of lists, and this is just his top albums list. So one of the people that I want to highlight on here was Bumps. Bumps album was really dope. And also Kellis Hamilton, a couple underground artists there. So I want to shout them out. And like I said, he has a ton of dope stuff. As you can see here, he has a top 77 Christian rap classics of 2022. Very dope playlist. It's about 4 hours long, and that's a really nice listen if you're going on a drive to check that one out. So there's that one. And the next person that kind of is like my window into Africa, he goes by Masika Petrobos, I think I'm saying that right, but that's the homie. I've been following him for quite some time, probably ever since I got on Twitter. I got on Twitter 3 years ago. I've been following him for like 2 years. He does really nice mixes. He's actually sent me a couple playlists over the years, so shout out to him. But he's done a number of different things here, and this right here is his top 30 Christian songs. So you can find his handle and you can find out what some of those songs were. Some of the songs on there I want to highlight was No Weapon by Scooty Wop. He also has another song on here that was really, really dope. Sleeping, of course. Tori Deshawn, Scrolling. The song Craft featuring Jared Sanders. And he has a song on here by Cass. Shout out to Cam, was his favorite song of the year. That was To Whom It May Concern. So shout out to him. Make sure you go ahead and check out what he has going on Twitter and also YouTube. And then finally, I want to wrap things up with DJ Jeremiah of the Track Stars. Now, I've been following the Track Stars for like 10-15 years, probably since the beginning, maybe not 15 years, but at least 10 years, probably around 12 years. I'm a big fan of his. This is his top 50 projects of the year. A few that I wanted to highlight, he highlighted D Tall. He highlighted also Star Ringo. Star Ringo is kind of like CHH adjacent. He kind of collabs a little bit with Aha. That's probably the only person in CHH that he really rocks with. But dope project. Again, on here, he has Raging Moses, The Flourishing, and then also one album on here I want to make sure that I highlight is by Relina Rochelle. It's called Girl Gang. Really nice project. And one thing that DJ Jeremiah has taught me, whether he knows it or not, is to make sure that we are showing love to our female Christian hip hop artists. He doesn't know that he's influenced me that way, but he's definitely made an imprint on me in that way. And I'm hoping to get DJ Jeremiah on the channel really, really soon, maybe to talk about his top 50 favorite songs. So with that being said, let's switch gears and let's kind of figure out how do we get to this final four in the CHHTalk Project of the Year bracket. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here we are at the red bracket. So obviously the two songs, or the two projects, I keep saying songs, the two projects that had a first round bye was 1K Few and Bodega, and those actually did make their way to the Elite Eight, and then I had Bodega making the final four. One thing I wanted to say about this section is maybe 3 or 4 of my favorite overall, like maybe top 5, top 7 songs are all in this bracket. So it's really hard to pick Bodega over Taylor Gray's Find a Way to Smile Again. Probably one of my favorite EPs of the year was Hello Kizzy and Company by Not Clyde. Super fun record. And then a late album that I've been listening to later in this year is by Kyrian the Light. I always mess up his name, so sorry about that. Forgiven Music. So really nice projects in the red bracket. Now let's move on to our next one. All right, so now we're over in our yellow bracket. So the two songs, I keep saying it, the two albums that had a first round bye, that was Social Club Misfits, Everybody Loves a Comeback Story, and then obviously Church Clothes 4. The two projects that made it to the Elite Eight was Esso and also Lecrae. A couple of albums that I do want to highlight are the songs that made the Sweet 16. That was Reese Lachey and 350. So shout out to somewhat of the new school coming up. And the OG Ambassador was in this bracket as well. One of my favorite projects of the year as well. So that's how we got here as far as the yellow bracket. Now let's keep it moving. All right, so let's go ahead and move over to the blue portion. So the two albums that got the bye in the first round was Transcended by Ty Brazel, and then also Tripoli with the album called The End. So very dope bracket here. The final four, or the Sweet 16 on the blue bracket, was just stuff with good music. But in the end, it was The End that came out. So Tripoli, sorry for the terrible pun, but let's go ahead and move over to the next bracket. And the last, we are in our green bracket, where New Hollywood by What Up RG was the first round bye, and then we also had this time around Tadashi got the first round bye. Again, I'll shout it out again, Vanguard's very dope EP by Trutha Talks, and not Trutha Talks. Trutha Talks is his YouTube page, but Trutha and then Mike Wise on their nice collab project, and then Got Over Money, really solid project. Was really a movement within CHH in the first half of the year. The two songs that made it towards the end were both Reach. That was, I keep saying songs, but the two projects that made it was New Hollywood and also Tadashi, and that's what New Hollywood getting the nod. So that's how we got to the final four. And now it's time to make the tough decision of choosing my favorite project of the year according to the CHHTalk Project of the Year bracket. All right, so here we are. This is the final four, and you guys just saw how we got here. So we're gonna go ahead and start off on the blue and green side. So really quickly, obviously both of these are both Reach projects. We have Trip Lee, one of the OGs, and we have one of the newcomers, What Up RG. Now, just a quick recap of both of the projects. I think that I think my three favorite songs on New Hollywood was Human. That was kind of like that rock and roll, like that rock band type feel. I remember I had this stint in my life where I was addicted to rock band. So in my head, I'm playing rock band on that song. The next song that I really enjoyed on that project was MySpace. As soon as I heard that, that was definitely one of the songs that I wanted to play on my radio show. So really dope single. And then obviously Kids Again, just a really dope project. I remember exactly where I was at. I was actually sitting in this chair when I saw the music video for that, when everybody kind of lifted up off the ground. It was just really dope how he put together just like the rollout of the project. And everybody's been waiting on New Hollywood for a few years. So that's my New Hollywood kind of breakdown. When it comes to the end, yeah, I've been a fan, obviously, of Trip Lee for a very long time, and I think that he did a lot of production on this project, and I think he did a very, very good job at it. The rollout of this project was fantastic. The Stone, just the Stone music video, just like the preaching kind of sample that he had on there, and then you get into the project, you have songs like Put Your Weapon Down, you have songs like Dreamin', really just kind of sharing his heart. Yeah, this is a very tough matchup between these two, but I think I'm gonna have to choose. And also I was gonna shout out the artwork on both of these. Very, very dope artwork as I stall and making my pick. It's also pretty clever that both of these songs are blue and green on the artwork and they're on the blue and green side. As I stall a little bit more, and I think some of this just could be an age thing, because obviously I'm a little bit older. Well, maybe it's not obvious, but I think I connected with the end more just because I'm kind of more in that season of life. And yeah, I think I connected more with the end. So that makes it to the championship. And now let's move over to the red and yellow side. Now this is tough for me because I feel like on the red and on this whole side of the bracket were all my favorite albums of the, not all, but the majority of my favorite albums of the year. Now let's make the impossible choice between Bodega and Church Clothes 4. I really wish they were on opposite sides of the bracket, but alas, they're not. Let's start with Bodega. It's an absolute moment for CHH. I feel like this is, I don't know if we necessarily thought we needed this, but DJ Mike LV in 1995 coming together, a DJ and a producer, and really handpicking all these different artists. I mean, they had the old school represented, the new school represented on this project. They had, and like that middle ground too. So they had, like, when I say new school, I mean like 350 and Bats. And then shout out to 350. Like, I didn't think that I needed to hear him on a boom bap track, but there it was, and he did a dope job. Then you also have Bats, the new school. Then you have like some of the older school. You have people like Belief and Dre Murray. I thought starting the project with Dre Murray was dope just because like that was a no-brainer. A boom bap Christian hip hop album, it has to have Dre Murray on it. So when I saw his name, I was like, obviously. Yeah, so very, very dope project. I'm looking forward to the deluxe. DJ Mike LV mentioned on the Trackstars show that deluxe is coming. 1995 has mentioned it through his tweets as well. So there's Bodega. So Bodega is an absolute moment within Christian hip hop for this year. And then we have the iconic Lecrae in Church Clothes 4. The ending of Church Clothes 4, obviously we have Misconceptions 4, kind of really put a bow on that series. The music video for Spread the Ops was just, it was fantastic. I actually did a reaction video, and I don't do reaction videos, but that mug was so nice that I was just like, I gotta break my rule. It wasn't like a cold reaction, which is what a lot of people do. And a lot of times people do reactions, they're very demonstrative and they're like bouncing all over the screen, showing a whole lot of energy and stuff like that. Like, that's not my style, that's not who I am. So I just sat down with a very thoughtful reaction, and that's what I called it. So if you care to check that out, shameless plug for you to spend a little bit more time on my channel. And then one of my favorite musicians of all time is PJ Morton. He had a song with PJ Morton, we did it. And then he ended the project with Journey and Deconstruction. and it was just a beautiful depiction of like what he's been going through and where he's been at. So those are the two projects, and now it's time for my decision of who I'm going to pick. And in times like I think I don't know which one I listen to more, because I was going to say like I'm just going to pick the album that I listen to more. Like I can't do that because I think I equally listen to them both. It's hard to like Bodega is just an easy album just to listen to. You just press play and it just flows. That 9/5 drop just sounds iconic every time I hear it. And then on the flip side, like Church Clothes 4, it really culminates a story. It culminates a lot of things he's been going through. It culminates a lot of different albums, and specifically Church Clothes 4. But I think it actually ties up some loose ends from some of Restoration as well. So I listen to them both a whole lot, but there can only be one. And I think I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Church Clothes. I'm going to go with Church Clothes, and that will make the championship. Two of the OGs, two of the vets within Christian hip hop, two of the vets within Reach Records, quite frankly. And I've already kind of spelled out what I liked about both of these projects. And I think between these two, it's an easier choice than the red and yellow side. My champ is going to be, it's already highlighted, it's going to be Church Clothes 4. Like I said, these two, Bodega and Church Clothes 4, were probably my two favorite albums of the year. And probably Taylor Gray, the Find a Way to Smile Again, that's up there as well. But it goes to Church Clothes 4. And I know it was kind of anticlimactic. I just went straight to it. But you guys saw the turmoil that was going on between Bodega and also Church Clothes 4. It would have been inauthentic for me to come over here and act like I already didn't have my answer. So I'm a straight shooter. So yeah, there goes my project of the year, Church Clothes 4, Lecrae. Like I said, there was a lot of there was a lot of good things about this project. There was a lot of good things about CHH, quite frankly. And shout out to CHHTalk for doing this each and every year. I know, like I said at the very start of this, a lot of people don't like these because they feel like it kind of is putting two different artists against each other. Some of them really take it seriously as far as like this is their ministry. And then others are just, it's their side hustle, it's their side hobby. It's something that they just do for fun, and they just want to impact God's people that way. And I can feel that tension between there. But for me, like just like I showed at the beginning of this video, I like the list because it really gives me, I mean, I can't listen to everything. I'm one person. And I think that things like this, things like people making their top 10, top 20, top 50 lists at the end of the year, I love them because there's always stuff that I'm missing, like Cass. Like I listened to that album, but then I just got so busy with the radio show, with life, things like that. I never got back around to it. The list brings it back to my attention. Now I listened to that album twice today. And then also people like Raging Moses and The Flourishing. I had no idea who Raging Moses was before somebody put it on the list. So take these lists as an opportunity to learn more about the genre, to learn more about Christian hip hop. So that's my 2 cents on it. And then also some people get upset because they feel like, well, you're saying you like somebody better than the next. Like, I don't look at it that way. I look at it just like I explained here, where I have Trip Lee's album versus What Up RG's album. Because I'm a 39-year-old man, I resonated more with some of the subject matter that was going on in Trip Lee's album, and not as much. I definitely resonated a lot with New Hollywood, but not as much as I did with Trip. It doesn't mean that I like one better than the other, or it doesn't mean that one person is better than the other. It just means that you resonate a little bit more with a particular project. So sometimes people aren't making an album for you. You're not their target audience, and you understand that. I don't think that when What Up RG sits down, he's looking to make a song for necessarily me. I don't think that he's doing that. Conversely, I think that maybe a Trip Lee is. He is maybe looking at somebody like me as somebody who he wants to target. So With that being said, I'll get off my soapbox and yeah, we'll see what we have here. All right, so yeah, so this is our final bracket. This is what it looks like. I'll make sure I post this on Twitter so people can yell at me and tell me tell me why I'm wrong. So this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, this gave me an opportunity just to kind of get put onto some new music and just kind of go back and look through everybody's album at the end of the year. Now, I did go ahead and put together a playlist. I'll make sure I link that in the description of my favorite 2 songs from each of these albums, and I put them all into one playlist for you. So I will make sure that I link that in the description below. All right, so we have made it to the end. Thank you guys so much for checking out this whole bracket from top to bottom as I walk through the CHHTalk Project of the Year bracket. Stay tuned for more. I have more videos under the CHH 2K22 series, a year in review. I have a whole lot more stuff planned. We'll see what all we have time to get to. So I really do appreciate you guys. Make sure you click all the buttons and click all the bells so you know exactly what's going on. And until next time, peace in, confusion out, and be positive.